age?
I think most countries...
Doesn't this prove that this is highly subjective?
No, my friend. More or less, in most countries, the age today is 18.
Yeah.
Guess what the age is of consent to marriage in Saudi Arabia?
It's 12 or 14.
It's 18.
Yeah, nice. I mean,
In Italy, it's 15.
yeah.
Okay, so don't try to say Saudi Arabia is not modern. It is, by today's standard, it is. But we don't define modern.
So why'd you say 12 or 13 or 14?
When you talk about 18, most countries have given this as, okay, until you reach 18. So when you're 17, let's say your birthday is in March, yes? If you're going to become 18 in March, in February you're a child.
It makes no sense.
In March, you're a grown-up, you can now watch pornography all you want. But just a day before that, it is illegal for you. Just a day before that, you're a child.
I don't think
This is the
legality makes
degradation of the
morality.
society. Was that, sorry?
Legality doesn't make morality.
That's fine. We're not saying that, but we're saying you've used the principle.
Morality, we have to keep the society in view of this discussion. We can't just ignore it. It's not just individual rights. It's a right of a society. So take, for example, adultery. Are you guys okay with that?
I don't think it's like a nice thing to do, but I don't think we should punish people by law.
Okay, hold on. What are the side effects of adultery? Let's see if you even know that.
What is the metaphor? If we should
Okay, is marriage a contractual agreement? Are you making a contract, an oath to this
What are the
person?
consequences of adultery?
When you break that oath, shouldn't there be consequences?
If it's part of your oath, sure, yeah.
No, shouldn't there be societal consequences when people break oaths? Would you want to live in a society? I'll explain to you. Do you want to live in a society where people break contracts? If I come into business contracts with you, why is it that business contracts, when broken, have things, and when marriage contracts are not, there's a problem with
Does
that?
society punish you if you get a driver's ticket?
Yes, society does punish you for a driver's ticket because you're endangering other people in the society and you're breaking the laws of society. In the same way, when you break, when you break financial contracts, you go to jail or you get severe punishments. In the same way, marriage contracts, when they're violated, there should be punishment. Okay, what are financial contracts?
You know the consequences of adultery. When marriages break down, children suffer. Okay, their families suffer. They themselves suffer. So there's a lot of things which takes place after this one night stand could have been avoided.
What else causes men's higher harm?
Second?
Causes men higher harm?
Now what causes men's harm?
Immense harm, yeah.
If you societally punish people who've done wrong, like...
Really? You want to live in a society where we don't punish
Not at all,
people?
I mean like adultery. I think it's a personal business, and if two people have an agreement, like what's
Okay, yeah. So okay, how about
What
this?
about the third part?
I borrow money from you.
Yeah.
Between me and you, no society, like you're saying. Me and you, I borrow money. We make a contract. I'll pay you back in a year $5,000. I decide in a year I don't want to pay you back. Do you want to? Do you think I should get? Do you think you have a right to get your money back from me? Do you think there's a legal right? Okay, I make an oath to spend the rest of my life with you and be faithful with you, and you do the same. Do you not think that if somebody breaks that agreement, there should be consequences in the same way that a finance? Okay, so then what's the problem?
law. Like it's in the contract. There are consequences by breaking agreements, and also usually stated in the agreements. This happens.
I think it goes beyond.
No. I mean, a contract doesn't need to. A financial contract.
Go back to adultery. Yeah. So you see, adultery doesn't only, like I said, harm one person or two people. It harms a lot of people who are connected to these two people. Yeah. So we can't just say let it happen, because that destroys the society gradually. There is consequences which are real.
But what do we do against it? How harsh are we going to punish people?
Yeah, you have to have a punishment that keeps people away from it.
That person knows is going to be penalized. I think that itself is a start. Now, how harsh, that can be decided by the society alone.
I just think it should be between two people, and if there's a contract, like society can force a contract.
Okay, do you decide the what's it called, the laws of financial contracts or no? When you come into a contract with me financially, do you decide the laws or does the government decide the laws? Why do we need to do it if we're in a personal agreement? It doesn't need to be that way. Society can have laws for personal agreement because they not only affect us, it would be a horrible society to live in if we couldn't trust each other at all.
What would you do then with like adulterers?
There would be a punishment for them, whatever that punishment is. The punishment in Islam.
What is it?
Depends on the thing. You probably know the punishment better.
There's a lot of things in play. In fact, the punishment is as harsh as anyone who would actually destroy a family. And to me, that is a huge thing. It's not just a simple thing. Okay, what is the punishment for treason in America? Do you think they deserve the electric chair?
No.
Why not?
I don't think anyone should be punished for this.
Well, I don't think.
You don't think? Okay, you don't think anybody should be punished?
I don't care about your opinion because it's my country.
By death, my man.
By sorry?
By death.
You don't think capital punishment should be a thing?
Yes.
So a person who, for example, goes out and rapes, gets punished, goes out and rapes, gets punished, go back to rapes.
We don't believe
you don't think you don't think
I don't think we should let them get out again, but I don't think we should kill them. And you can't ever be.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's an arbitrary judgment. Why not kill them? Yeah. What's the issue? Why not kill them? Why are you forcing somebody to be in a cell? You know, solitary confinement has been shown to be one of the most devastating things a human being could go through. Yeah. So why not give them the mercy of just killing them and ending their impact on the society?
But
Because
you ever 100%
And becoming a
sure
deterrent for the
that
others.
you're
Yes.
killing the person that is the right person? Because it is
I mean, you have to, of course, go through the evidence.
Yeah, but the people have been wrongly punished and you can't bring them back.
Do you know the amount of money that's required to keep one person in jail?
Do you know that it costs infinitely more
Sorry?
to kill them? It costs much more.
No, it does not. Absolutely
If you look
not.
at the deterrent that it causes, that's the reason you see the number of
Deterrence
rapes
doesn't
and
work.
murders.
Oh, they 100% work. The reason you don't do a lot of things is because there's laws. If you knew that there was no speed cameras, no seatbelt laws, no laws about anything, would you do everything to a T every single
No,
time?
deterrence works to an extent, but if you just...
So they do work. They don't not work. Because you said very clearly they don't work. They do work.
Well, sometimes I speak too overly confident. I just meant like killing people doesn't do enough as deterrence to keep people from hurting each other.
Why is it working in certain countries
they do
there's-
work.
Where there's capital punishment?
Why do you think people
the
don't steal in
example-
Saudi Arabia that often?
Take the example of Singapore. Okay, if you're caught, if you're trafficking drugs there, it's a death penalty. Do you know that? In Singapore,
And they have
not a Muslim country.
Yeah.
Not a Muslim country. Why is the amount of drug trafficking reduced dramatically over there compared to other places like Colombia, for example? Why? So it works. The death penalty does work, even if it's a non-Muslim
What does
country.
work? I'm just saying.
What do you mean works? It does work. It's not like that. It does
It
work.
literally works
Some work or
demonstrably.
don't work. It works to an extent. Like, you never will have a society where nobody kills.
Yeah, we don't need that. We just
No, we're
want
not
the
saying it goes to
maximum.
zero. We are not
But you're saying no, let's just not do deterrence.
Reduces it.
Right, we want to reduce it. I agree with that. But I don't want it at the cost of killing people. I think that's horrible.
So wait, wait. You would rather innocent people get killed by criminals because they're not getting deterred, rather than killing criminals. You'd rather innocents get killed. Why? Because we don't want to deter people by killing
You know,
them.
many of these drug traffickers, in fact, they are encouraged when they realize it's going to be only 3 years in prison and they'll be out. And you know what they do? These guys didn't only stop.
You have
drugs
more
on the street.
mercy.
They go in the jail and then start the business from there.
You have more mercy for
That's
the
how bad
criminal
it is.
than for somebody that was an innocent bystander in a Walmart and got lit up by a shooter for no reason. Why?
Many of these drug kingpins, they do their business from the jail itself.
But many crimes are not.
I'm not kidding.
I know they do.
Many of these sects.
evil. Many problems are not even caused by like psychological problems. Many causes are like despair.
Yeah.
Exception.
So okay, no, that's right.
Those
No,
exceptions.
she's.
In fact, Islam has an answer to that. If they are psychologically not able to decide and do these crimes, then there is an excuse for them. They won't get the death penalty. But in America, the people who are mentally also incapable, they get the electric chair. So Islam is much more merciful in that sense because
I don't care
it
about
takes
the
a
right-
person's individual, abilities into account.
I think that's punishment.
Yeah, but it's an arbitrary thought. Okay, you think it doesn't work.
It
But
works in
again,
the countries
you
where it's
literally have more mercy.
Sure, do honor killings.
Why would they work?
Of course they work. They deter women going outside and having sex.
It's immoral.
Yeah, one is
Yeah, why Is that immoral?
Why wouldn't it be immoral? You're killing a woman
Same thing.
for no reason.
You're killing people for no reason.
No, you're killing criminals.
And didn't you say adultery is bad?
Adultery is bad, yeah,
And
of
isn't
course.
killing adulterers, is that bad?
If they got into a contract where they said they would not do it and they violated it and they had harmful consequences on the individual and society, of course, if the law was to kill them, they should be killed.
That's all.
Why? Oh, so okay. So I'm horrible because I think criminals should be punished, but you are the moral person because you think that we should let criminals roam and let criminals do their thing and not actually be eliminated from society.
And reoffend.
No, it's not a straw man because people who go to prison come out eventually.
You don't have to do it that way. You can keep
Everybody goes to prison forever. All crimes, everybody goes to prison forever.
There are like longer sentences you make, and you can keep people, like if there's psychologically something wrong with them, you can keep it in indefinitely.
I'm not talking about people who have psychological problems. In Islam, those people are not treated under the law in the same way. They're actually given mercy. Unlike the law here. You do psychological eval.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do an evaluation, psychological evaluation.
Everyone else you can just kill because you're sure there's something wrong with them.
No, do you how could somebody be accountable if they're not moral agents? Do you think if a child kills his mom, you should throw that child into prison? If it's a baby?
No.
Yeah, because they're not moral agents. In the same way, a psychologically incapable person is not a moral agent. But you're saying somebody who made the decision, moral agent, to go rape women, consistently do it, we should not kill him because we should have mercy on him. He's killing, he's raping and ruining lives. No, I mean, that's what you say. You're saying it's immoral to kill that person. So you're saying I'm being immerciful to not do that. I'm supposed to do something else with him that is more moral. No, we should eliminate this person. This person has proven that he produces more harm by your standard.
But just take to like the rapist who know you did it and who doesn't have any problem.
Yeah, okay. If you don't know, then you don't do it. No problem. But you eliminate people that you do know.
But you have many people like in prisons who don't do the same. Like if you have DNA evidence, you know how many
Yes, agreed.
exonerated.
I agree, and that only makes the case stronger for believing in an afterlife. Because on your worldview, women who don't get the justice because their rapist got off, and men who committed crimes or women who committed crimes and got away with it, on your worldview, they get to go off scot-free into their lives and enjoy the blessings they got from the crimes they've committed. On my worldview, justice is always served. The person that went to jail gets their justice on the day of judgment, and the person that did not get their got scot off free, Allah will punish him on the day of judgment eternally. Way worse than any punishment here. So on my worldview, alhamdulillah, everybody gets their.
Pat yourself on the back because you feel truth, a reality in their mind where bad people are punished. Congratulations, it doesn't make it true.
No, it doesn't make it true. But I've yet to see any argument against any of my points, my worldviews, the arguments I put forth. The reason that the contingent universe does not and requires something else. Nothing. You've held to the position that there is nothing but the contingent thing, and we can't know anything beyond that. You held to the position that evolution somehow explains.
I think you have hold your position very strongly. I don't agree with your reasoning. I don't think it's a.
But I've yet to hear why. You just keep saying I don't agree. No, I don't agree. I actually got a bit more of why he doesn't agree, and I think we've built a bit more on that. But with you, it's just no. I mean, that's a possibility. You don't need to study philosophy to engage with me and tell me why you think things that I'm saying are I talk to you about things that are just intuitive, completely intelligible to the rational mind.
That doesn't make it true. Again, like with the.
I think you keep strawmanning me. I'm not saying intuitive equals true. I'm saying you're not having a comprehension problem.
But you keep doing the same thing. Like it makes no sense to me. So therefore.
No, I'm telling you, there's rational arguments that prove what I'm saying. There's intuitive arguments. There's testimonial arguments. There's logical proofs. There's analogies, and you're still rejecting all of it.
Where are the philosophers who agree with those?
Wait, why? Okay, first of all, there are philosophers that agree, but why do you need only philosophers? I gave you people from all walks of life who agree. Evolutionary psychologists, evolutionary biologists. Yeah, of course.
But everybody agrees.
No, of course. So therefore, you need to investigate and tell me why this person is right, why this person is wrong. You're having a conversation with me. You've only told me I'm wrong. I've yet to hear why. You've told me I'm wrong about infinite regress. You've told me I'm wrong about my morality. You've told me. Go on.
Tell you one more time why I think what you're saying doesn't make any sense. And if if you restart anarchy, okay?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
go on.
So even if I could have perfect knowledge and perfect logic, which I don't even know like all the laws of logic on my head. But if I knew the universe has to have a creation, and it can't create itself, it can't be eternal, it can't be eternal regress.
Yes, infinitely regressing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's say that's not possible. But something creates the universe, we know that.
Yeah.
I can't go then to say that there's a God.
Well, we've already said that there are some attributes that we could easily establish. For example, this creator is the most powerful thing. Why? Because it's necessary. What is the meaning of necessary? It is that could not be any other way, and it's able to bring about every.
Any other
That's
way?
definitionally what a necessary thing is. It could not be any other way.
Why is
And
God?
what?
Why is God there?
I explained to you because if you say that, for example, the thing that caused the universe is not that, then that thing becomes the contingent thing. Then that becomes the contingent thing, and then you keep going until you eventually hit God. So you eventually hit.
No, you eventually hit
A necessary being, yes, a non-contingent thing, which now I'm arguing to you needs a will, and you tied will with consciousness, and this necessary thing could not be any other way, and is all powerful to create all of this, and at least, sorry?
For me.
Why is it a leap?
To say, like again, at one point there has to be something which is not created.
It's limitless. A necessary thing is the limitless. It has no limits upon it. That means it's all powerful. It's able to bring about anything. And I mean, just the proof's in the pudding. It's brought about all the power and energy in this
Why does
universe.
it have to be all powerful?
I told you it's limitless, and I told you that that's what a necessary thing is. It's necessary. It's possible in all. Sorry, it's necessary in all possible worlds. It could not have been any other way.
All this necessary stuff. I think you just.
No, I mean, but the problem is that you're accepting that an infinite regress is an absurdity only for the sake of argument. So that's why anything beyond that I build, you're not going to actually accept.
No proof that there's something that has to be necessary.
I already did. I told you an infinite regress is absurd, and therefore a contingent set requires something outside of the contingent set to explain it. Which means if the universe is contingent, you need something outside of it, something that is, if you say another contingent thing, then something that is that contingent thing is upon. Eventually, you hit a necessary thing. That necessary thing, eventually, at some point, decided to willed everything into existence. No. There was a point where there's none of this existed, right?
Either things have to be created by something, or they don't.
Yeah, exactly. We already said that they do.
If God doesn't have to be created,
God cannot be. He's necessary. That's literally. It's like saying a square. Why is a square not a circle?
things can come from nothing. Okay, things can create themselves. They don't
Okay.
come from.
I think if you going back to things can come from nothing, I think we should end here. But I really appreciated the conversation. But yeah, it was really nice to talk to you guys. Although we disagree, but yeah, no, I appreciated the conversation. So thank you so much.
Okay. Apart from all
Yeah.
that, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure, if you want to continue.
This is one of the biggest cities in Europe. There's a lot of freedoms. People can leave and do whatever they want.
Sure.
Why are you living here? You're living here, right?
Yeah, because the European civilized countries bombed the shit out of all the countries in the Middle East and plundered them for resources. France, for example, right now, for example, enslaves the natural resources. And no, right now, I'm not talking about the future.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay? I don't want to go there. I'm just talking about you can go to a smaller town in England. There will be less adultery. There will be less, I don't know, whatever you find wrong. Because
Sure.
in London there's the most prostitution. There's most, I don't know what.
There's positives and negatives to every. Yeah, I mean, I did because I weighed out the positives and negatives, and I made that decision. Now, could this just because I made the decision? You sound like the conservatives that say you can't say America's racist if you love America. No, if you love somewhere, you want it to become better. I like living here. I like living in Canada where I used to live. I have no problems with living there. I have a problem with people being against making it a better place. Just because this place is good enough to live doesn't mean it can't be better. Doesn't mean that there's some clear, obvious stupidities that we're doing as a society that we can eliminate and make this place a better place.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I mean, I like.
And you know, you asked me the question. I understand that. You're not telling me go leave.
I introduced my question as a personal question. It's a question about sentiment. I was just trying to be empathic towards you and try to understand if in this surrounding, where in your skin, I would feel so, I don't know, maybe I get this
out of place?
Out of place, maybe, yes.
No.
Why shouldn't I choose a place where there is more coherence with my belief system? Because here, I would, and honestly, I feel like this. I'm overwhelmed by this place. I don't like it. It's too crowded.
So let me tell you this. Alhamdulillah, the Muslim community, unlike any other community in the world, no matter where you go, anywhere in the world, there's a hub and a community that accepts you. I don't feel out of place anywhere I go. You know, anywhere I go in the world, anywhere I've traveled, I walk into a masjid, I feel the community, no issues. I walk out, I see Muslim brothers, Muslim sisters in hijab, I feel at home everywhere, alhamdulillah. There's Muslims all over the world. You know, the biggest Muslim country isn't in the Middle East. The biggest Muslim country is in Asia, Indonesia. So Muslims everywhere. There's Muslims in America, I'm in Canada, Muslims everywhere, halal food everywhere. I don't feel out of place at all. And I'm also so rationally convinced by my positions that I have no discomfort. And I think, by the way, your discomfort here is because you're wrestling with ideas. I'm not. And I used to feel this when I used to wrestle with ideas too. You do when you're around people that are certain or show you certainty or have arguments for why they believe things. You may disagree. That's fine. You're gonna feel uncomfortable because you don't have that.
No, this.
That's fine.
Sorry.
You don't need to be. So that's fine. We don't believe that. By the way, we don't believe that people change their minds on rational arguments purely.
I was not talking about our conversation. I was talking about even privately.
Yeah, privately. I'm talking about privately. I don't feel ever out of place. Alhamdulillah. Because my heart is content, my heart's at peace, my mind's at peace with my rational conviction, and I live in a society that allows me to practice my faith, although it constrains me in some areas.
Yeah, I think we have a misunderstanding. I was not talking about the morals. This is not.
Oh, okay. So please elaborate then.
Well, I like it more natural. Not natural. I mean, more green spaces, less crowded, better air conditioning, the air pollution less. There's nothing about how the people act like this. And I also observed when you have big places like London, people pay less. How can I say? They are less. How can I say careful in interacting with you?
Yeah, I understand. It's a big city, and people bump you, and people don't say. I understand that. I've lived in a small city, and it's different. Yes.
And for me, this has nothing, little to do with religion or morals, but more about you getting used to the number of people.
I would disagree. I'd say that the way people act is directly impacted by their beliefs, and their beliefs are heavily impacted, not completely, but heavily impacted by their secondary socialization. So their cultural and societal, and primary at home. So because of that, because people here have different morals, and it's a everybody has drastically different morals, and because of obvious material facts, because of the fact that people are really struggling to live, because of the poor government that is in place in most of the Western countries and in the Eastern countries as well, that have dropped the ball when it comes to taking care of people. People have grown sick and grown tired, and because they have no good value systems that they're taking their beliefs from, it's led to a society that doesn't care about other people, that's selfish, doesn't have good family values.
The fascinating thing is, I don't believe in religious premises, and I think I still care about other people, and I could still be involved in a government. And
I don't think that you can't. I don't think that because you're irreligious, it means you can't think things that are moral. I don't think that you're an immoral. So I don't think that you, because you're an atheist, atheist, you can't trust atheists. No, that's not what I think. I think you could participate in government, all these things. However, to me, somebody, for example, you right there, you have been, your heartbeat alone, you've had that heartbeat since you were in your mother's womb, before you were even conscious, for 9 months. And then for 4 years before you could talk, you had that heartbeat. If you gave thanks if you try to give thanks just for your heartbeat that you never asked for, that you didn't deserve, that you, no second, let me land, and then you could tell me why you disagree.
I don't.
If you just give thanks, if you tried it with every breath for the rest of your life, you could never even thank your creator, whatever created you. You cannot thank just for your heartbeat because you sleep, you eat, you're what's it called? You have 4 years to catch up on before you speak, and 9 months. You could never do it if you spent just for your heartbeat. Now imagine your eyes. Did you ever get a receipt? Did you have to pay for your eyes? Did you ever do anything to deserve everything that makes you? So to me, the person that rejects their creator and is ungrateful to their creator, I'm not saying you are doing this on purpose. You're an agnostic to me. You're somebody that's looking, may Allah guide you. May Allah guide me as well. You're somebody that rejects their creator and rejects everything, all the blessings that they have, and they're good to the people. They're not somebody that's, they're committing the greatest immorality in the first place.
You're grateful towards something you believe in, and you told us you have logical reasons to believe in it, and it's fine. I'm also grateful, but I'm not putting this
Yeah, I believe you. Oh, sorry.
gratefulness towards a person or towards
We don't believe it's a person, but that's fine. I'm telling you that you're great. You might be grateful.
person because it
No, it's
acts.
not.
You said it has a will and a willing.
No, it's not. Does it need to be a human being?
I'm not talking person. It doesn't have to be a human being.
No, it's an agency. Agency, yeah, sure. Person means human being, so like it's an agency. So my point to you is that I think that somebody who rejects their creator and is ungrateful to their creator, and that's why I'm using creator, and is grateful to the people, is like I gave you $1 billion and then you go thank her. I think that is the ultimate display of display of ungratefulness. You're grateful to the wrong person. Of course, that's my position. Who else is gonna be this person?
What you're telling me is like you have won $1 million and you don't know why or how it got there. And so
No, I know. I argued for how it's got there.
So it has to
I mean, you keep strawmanning. That's why I think we ended it together. So yeah, I think it's better if we just continue because you keep strawmanning my position and you keep saying I'm wrong, but I've yet to hear a criticism. Criticism means you have to explicate what's wrong, not say I'm wrong.
Okay.
And you can't say you're wrong. You also say I let you do this the whole time. You said you kept on objecting, and you're ignorant yourself. You can, as an ignorance, you didn't have a position, and you're like I don't know, and you don't know. You can't make an objection from ignorance. So I let you do that the whole time. I didn't say anything. But in reality, you can't at all do that. You can't know I'm wrong if you don't know.
You make deterministic statements, which I don't agree with.
They're not deterministic. I've laid them out, and again, you can't make, if you don't even think in, like if you don't have a position to argue from in the first place, you can't know I'm wrong, and at the same time not even be able to demonstrate how.
But you can't just say because I have a position, I can say this and this.
Of course I can.
If it's not.
Of course I can. That's what my position entails. If you don't like it, that's completely fine. If you think that you could argue against it, I would love to hear it.
Okay,
Whatever it is.
I believe in the flying spaghetti monster.
I tell you what's the evidence for the flying spaghetti monster.
What's the evidence?
I already told you. We can't have an infinite regress. What's it called? This universe had to. This universe is contingent, and it requires something to be contingent upon. This thing is necessary. This thing, what's it called? There was a point. This place wasn't here, and then it became here. Therefore, it was willed, and you tied will with consciousness, and I completely agree with that. And this thing is limitless, is necessary, and could not be any other way. And it was able to bring about all this, all powerful, and the fact that all the laws of the constants of the universe are clearly, observably maintained and consistent. It screams. Actually, philosophers say, cries out for an explanation. And even atheists, no, not some, even atheists philosophers, and you could go check this, accept atheist philosophers and atheist scientists, and religious, and for both. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know how much philosophy you study. You said not much. He studied philosophy. You might know this, except fine tuning.
I studied psychology.
Yeah, psychology is not philosophy.
I think religion is totally explainable by.
Oh, so maybe you should read Justin Barrett's stuff, because if you study psychology, Justin Barrett also talks about the fact that human beings start out as God believing from childhood, and they even cites the Islamic concept of the fitrah, the fact that we're born with this innate nature to want to worship God. Then atheism.
Hitchens?
Sorry?
Have you studied Hitchens?
Christopher Hitchens.
And
Christopher Hitchens.
no, what's the biologist name?
Richard Dawkins.
Dawkins, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bum.
I think
Even atheist scientists and atheist philosophers made fun of him for saying absolutely the fact that you said you take information.
About any person.
No. You can't say about a private person. Dawkins on video has said extremely dumb things that his atheist friends. Yeah, okay. So I'm telling you, what are you quoting Dawkins at me like he's some kind of authority? Dawkins is barely a good scientist, let alone a philosopher.
You're just saying I should read them. I think he he makes a lot of sense.
Oh, okay. What does he make sense about? You don't know. You're just quoting Dawkins because he's popular. You don't know. You never read his books. You've not watched his content. Tell me one thing.
Okay, let's leave first out of it. Again, my only.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You're just throwing names,
Okay.
and you're saying I'm wrong, and you throw names.
I'm saying you're wrong because you're
Because you have a bias that you want to not.
Actually, I own bias. Want to believe in a God?
No, I don't. I didn't. At some point, I believed in a deistic God. I did not believe in Islam and stuff. So I have a proven track record of changing my mind. For like 8 years too. So, and I was a liberal, secularist, what's called anti-religious person. So I have a track record of changing my beliefs.
The other way as well.
I understand. So, but the point is, both those people have a track record of changing their views. You from the beginning of the conversation have not been. I'm not saying that you need to change your views. I'm saying you've not even given any room to give any constructive criticism to move the conversation in a way where you could change your mind.
My construction
Because you have not shown.
is that it makes no sense in my mind. It's not a logical vibes. And
Yeah, I've asked you how.
it doesn't
That's the
make
constructive
any
part.
sense in my mind how you can say a universe has to come from something, and that something in itself doesn't come from something else.
I already explained. If
And
that's the
that's
if that's the case, then it's contingent. If it comes, that's the point. Anything that relies on something else for its existence that could have been another way is contingent. You keep making a category error. You don't need to take my word for it. I humbly, I say, go look at this on your own if you don't trust me, because I don't think the same things. You could read atheist philosophers. You could read the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy.
Most important thing
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, I mean, but you're familiar with them, but you're making the basic mistakes of a category error with a contingent thing.
Everything is contingent except for one thing that started as not contingent.
Yes, exactly.
And why does it have a will?
Why does it have a will? Because there was a point. It makes no sense that what's the thing that made the non-existence of this universe come in? Because there was nothing forcing it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a will. That's the point. It points to an agency, a will.
Because I don't know what you say. It's
No, I'm telling you, that's the Occam's razor in philosophy suggests you should take.
say like
It is absolutely when you have a simple and comprehensive explanation for something and the absence of other explanations, a competing hypothesis is the best thing to take out of those if it's simple and comprehensive. That's Occam's razor.
then I can say
God, this entity having, go on, sorry.
You said it yourself that unless other explanations are approachable.
If they're simple and comprehensive.
Yes, and I think the Einstein's relativity theory is a perfect example. That it proved okay, there can be another explanation, but people simply didn't have it 20 years before. So maybe there's an explanation for all you.
Yeah, but I'm not giving you empirical. Because see, from studying the philosophy of science, I understand the philosophy of science is based on a limited data set.
You cannot use the argument of Occam's razor.
No, of course you can.
Down.
No, of course you can. Even for now, I'm asking you. She's not even willing to accept right now, according to based on what she knows now, that this is the best explanation. There's no other alternative explanation that's better than the agency having a will.
To me.
What is it? I'm waiting for it. Nothing. It's like that. Yeah, randomness doesn't exist. Prove randomness. It's literally something. It's a concept.
Randomness doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm telling you, everything has a cause. Yeah, I know. Principle of sufficient reason. Yeah, literally everything that we know of that exists requires a cause. Yeah, there's no randomness. If you actually, in fact, it's quite popular.
Cause be random.
Sorry? It's caused by something else. It's not random. It's caused by something else. It's not random. There's something that caused it. It wasn't random. Randomness is a term that's coined for when we don't know something. We put that term there as a placeholder. There's nothing random in all of it. In fact, all of physics. You know, like when we were doing, like for example, a pool table. When I have a pool cue and I'm hitting a ball, if I know the speed, if I know the curvature, if I know understand all of the physics of all the balls, the positioning, the angle, all that, I can determine every ball where it's going to go. It's not random, but to us it looks random. But a physicist could go and map out everything and tell you. So randomness doesn't actually exist at all.
We use random often for just shortening the argument. For example, we can also prove that we've met here. It has many reasons, and and things that play together, but just for the sake of, I don't know, to live an easier life, let's say like this, we moved here, we walked here, you interacted with us and you started it.
Yeah.
So what is the problem of calling it random and being peaceful?
But again, because it's not random, there was causes that made it that way.
If it's random or not random.
No, but I mean, okay, then we're just using words that we don't mean. Like it's the same. Randomness is the same as absolute nothing. It's a concept we can understand. Like it's intelligible, but it doesn't actually exist in the concrete world.
Okay, nothing. If we lived in, I don't know, 5,000 BC,
Yes.
the sun and the stars move around us.
Sure.
Doesn't it seem like the Earth is flat?
Sorry?
Doesn't it seem like the Earth is flat?
No, actually, curvature could be noticed on the Earth observationally.
But if you only live on a small island, do you see anything? Maybe like kind of curve.
No, I mean, curvature is observable, so I'm not accepting that. That's not the point. Even if you want to say, can observations lead us to falsehood? Yes, they can. That's why I didn't give you
I don't mean. Can it be that we have
wrong observations.
not the right answer yet? So the best answer we have.
Okay,
The best answer we have.
I understand that, but you are not even doing that. I'm telling you.
What is the best answer?
No.
Can still be wrong.
You're not even taking, but I don't believe you because you literally said you're not even willing to move forward. If you actually believed, no, that's why. Listen, I'm telling you, you're biased. Why? Because I'm telling you demonstrably. If you actually believed it, if you believed that God, is the best answer, then you would take it provisionally until you see a proof otherwise. I'm having this conversation right now. Prove to me there is no.
But why should I agree with a statement that I don't agree with?
Okay, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you're not even saying that God is the best explanation, and you have no other alternative. That's something that's dishonest intellectually.
The lack of alternative does not make you right.
Sorry?
The lack of an alternative explanation does make you right.
No, it makes no. It doesn't make. I did not give you observations. I gave you rational or deductive arguments, which are intelligible, irrelevant of observation.
I think this is one of the difference between the two of us, or maybe the three of us. I'm not talking only for myself.
Yeah.
I can perfectly live with insecurity. I can accept that I don't know the answers. And I wouldn't say, okay, you're making good arguments for God, okay, this is why I accept them. No, I say it's still not, for me it's not, how can I say, proof enough, and it's not convincing facts, and I can live with that.
Yeah, but my point to her is that she wasn't interested in being convinced in the first place.
But I can live in an existence which I don't really understand. It's okay for me.
Yeah, no,
if you don't
no. I don't believe you are because you only. That's why I told you constructive criticism. Somebody who's willing to convince. This is not even about conversation about God. 1 second. This is not about. I'll explain right now. It's not. This is in general. Any academic discussion. The proof of somebody who's willing to change his mind or to learn, teach somebody is the type of criticism they give. If you just say I'm wrong the whole time. We've been talking for maybe 2 hours. I don't know. The whole time, just I'm wrong. Never once. You've only given criticism. No constructive. So the constructive bit you don't have, and that means you're just stifling the conversation. If you picked my argument apart and showed me where it goes wrong, and if you showed me which premises go wrong, you showed me where the analogies go wrong, none of that. You just dismissed.
Maybe I'm just better communicating, but again, I disagree with the explanation.
I'm clear on you disagreeing. That's my point. Is that you only disagree. I'm yet to. No, you've not. You've only explained to me that this is not good enough. You've not told me where my arguments go wrong. You've not told me where what's it called? The evidences are not enough. Mansur, do you want to come in?
Okay, which part is Paul?
Come in, brother Mansur.
No.
The sister refuses to accept.
Very impressed.
No, Master. Yeah, the sister refuses to accept that the necessary being. What's it called? Necessarily the fact that he that at some point what's it called? The beginning creation has a will. What do you? Yes, a will.
You disagree with that? I mean, that's the most rational conclusion to take. Once you identified a necessary existence, because things to transform from a necessary existence, it can't just simply happen. Like, I mean, I can give you a scenario in which I'll give you everything there to make a cup of tea and no willing agent to make one, and it will never happen.
And what if hydrogen and oxygen?
To give you a scenario, to explain a bit further. So just picture a kitchen in which there's a fridge. Inside that there's milk. There's a sink with water. There's a kettle, and there's a what you call the fire cooker, okay? And all of that, these are in the cupboard. There is tea, and there's teapots, and there's cups and everything, right? Sugar, milk, tea, water, and everything. So all of the element is there. There is no willing agent to make a tea with 2 sugars. So you sit there in that kitchen and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. Would a cup of tea with 2 sugars ever be assembled?
But that's totally different.
No,
Why?
So I don't think so, because
let's understand this.
all of
Why?
these things are created by humans, and we know tea comes from humans making.
No, we're talking about things that exist.
Nature, people. Where do people
Yeah,
come
where do laws come from? How about that? Physical, natural laws that are, what's it called, form harmony in
But
the
I'm
universe.
giving the laws already
I
in
know.
this kitchen.
Yeah.
The laws are there.
The laws are there.
The laws are there.
And?
Interaction. So I'm saying the willing agent is there. Agents is missing. The only thing that's missing is a willing agent. It could be a programmed robot that does that transformation, but someone programmed it. Or it could be a human being.
an analogy from humans?
We just told you it could be a robot. It doesn't need to be humans. It's just a willing agent.
Without a willing agency,
It's
not gonna happen.
Trees exist without a willing agent.
No, trees are caused by other things. Yes, and of course, and trees are part of the contingent universe, and we already said that this contingent universe requires a necessary existence, and this necessary existence, we've now just tried to explain to you that the most rational explanation for how everything came about through this necessary being is that he has a will. Very simply.
let me put it
But even
in a different way, because you've heard his explanation. So you have a necessary existence that exists all the time because it's necessary. It doesn't require it to be contingent on something else. It's always there. That existence is always there. But we have seen here now transformation has already happened, because the fact that we are here, transformation has happened. The question we need to ask is, from that necessary existence, what made that transformation? Because if you want to transform something in a complex
It can change, yes.
How?
You see, look at this example. This is an item that has been assembled. Now this, I would say, is a complex assembly, requires a lot of knowledge and a will or intention. Without a will and intention and a necessary knowledge to make it, it is not going to be assembled like this. It's simply, I am saying, an object like that
Could be a robot that made it.
requires an intelligent assembly. This universe has shown us transformation of complex assembly.
But not everything that transforms is made by a conscious thing.
What I'm asking, if our universe is here in that form of transformed assembly, is it possible for this transformation in the assembly that we see today? It's possible to arise from a conscious, necessary agent without will. The necessary agent is there, doesn't will it.
I just disagree with this. I think there's
See
a
what
lot
I
of
told you?
causes.
I told you this. Yeah, go on.
There's a lot of causes for things that can cause like change or cause things to happen, and just a very small small subpart of that is like consciousness or consciousness. I think it's a very small thing. I don't think anything else, like the wind changing, is that caused by will? I don't think so.
No, I mean, we just explained to you though. We're not talking about the we're talking about why did there the existence of things. There was a point where things didn't exist. For that change to happen, there needed to be a willing agent for that to happen. It's the only rational explanation. Okay, you give me a better rational explanation. Give me one and I'll accept it.
We said
Bismillah.
rationally, it requires rationally a willing agent. What are the alternatives?
Where do laws come from? Do laws just poof into existence?
All of
Have
this
you ever seen
universe-
laws without lawgivers and law writers and law dictators? See, that's how law works.
Natural laws are
Yeah, no, natural laws don't sprout out of nothing. They
problem here
begin.
we won't get an agreement is that you are comparing human experiences, you two. Like for example,
Humans?
no.
I can only use my human
Can you
sense.
please listen? You are talking about this object that it was assembled by a human or
Anything that has a will.
yeah, and then you're using this as an analogy or like an example about the universe.
So you can't, you say.
Why would not?
You're saying you can't.
Why wouldn't we?
Do you study science? So whole science is built on a wrong foundation. generalization, to make generalization from
Science, in
observation.
my opinion, that I told him before, is, in my opinion, the best guess, best estimate we can have.
Yeah, but it's
And
based on
there's-
human
Based on
judgment
what?
Yes, and we often
and a human experience.
But based on what? The same thing that I'm doing now. That's science, scientific. This methodology, in terms of observing something,
Yeah,
making inference, which is most rational.
That's okay, but you're going way beyond. You're going to the start of the existence.
No, we're not. We're
That's where
making
we
it.
are
We're
saying
making an
this is-
inference in the same manner.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with it?
It's not wrong. It's just I think it's
Why is it not? Wait. Why is it not logical?
Explanation.
Why is it not? No, she said she's not logical.
our capacity.
Okay, well, there has to be
This is where I think
Where's the leap? How you have the leap, not me. I think that a willing agent. Sorry, go on.
you understand, using the same principles, we arrive at a willing agent, which is necessary being, and this is problematic for you, because once you have a willing agent, will comes from consciousness of some kind. Then you have another set of problems. Oh, why is this conscious agent who created me? Another set of problems. Islam tells us very clearly in the Quran, the reason people disbelieve in God is nothing to do with intellectualization. It's the stubbornness and pride and arrogance and all of that, because what consequence is going to be involved with it. That's why people are reluctant. Because once you realize, I can tell you straight, blindly in your face, you don't have to accept that, but you can think about it later. The reason why atheists do not accept the necessary existence, which is willing and conscious, is because of what follows from accepting that. Because, oh, I was created by something which is more powerful than I, with a reason. What is my reason? Am I fulfilling that purpose or not? They don't want to do that, because the liberal mindset is such that I want to be free, I don't care, I'm happy. When I die, I'll find out, and so on. Because that is escapism. Philosophy, the speculation that people provide, I'm just going to give my point. Philosophy, we say philosophical thinking can have a solid answer. It's not just simply speculation to the end. What philosophy does in university levels and so on, they leave you hanging. They either make you radical skeptics, or they leave you hanging and saying, oh, there's different opinion here and there. But think about it. You, in your everyday life, you're pragmatic, and you make choices, you knowing that it's not like, I don't know anything. You are certain that you're here speaking. You're certain that when you cross the road, you have to look for the buses and the cars and so on. You're certain. Everyday life, you're certain. Because you know for certainty that you're not just like a brain in a jar or a vat and so on and so forth. You have taken that pragmatic step and you live your life accordingly. But when it comes to God, you're saying, I'm skeptic, maybe not, I'm agnostic about it. Why? Because of the consequence that is linked with it. That is what Islam awakens people to say, look, do you not see? Do you not reflect? Once you use that, then you will come to the
in the same
realization.
way we can say you just believe in that because it's psychologically fulfilling for you to think there's an
I mean, we've just spent 2 hours giving you reasoned, even if you disagree with them, which again, for the millionth time, you say you disagree the whole time, but you've yet to give a constructive reason as to why. You could say that. Yeah, I mean, no, you've tried your hardest at telling me you disagree in all the kind of ways in the English language, but you've not told us why, and you've not given us like proper reasonable alternatives as well. So you could say, you could have an opinion that it's psychological, but we've just spent 2 hours proving it's not. Sorry?
lack of an alternative is not required.
No, it's definitely difficult for me to believe you when you're from a position of ignorance telling me I'm wrong. If you don't know, how are you going to tell me I'm wrong?
I've tried to explain that I don't believe that there has to be a beginning for everything, a contingency, but it stops at some point, and the only thing that can fulfill that is a God.
I explained to you why we can't have only contingent things, and you rejected it, and you didn't tell me, and you rejected it, and you didn't say why. What's it called? Explained to you why a necessary thing cannot have a.
Then you're making a logical leap.
No, you need to demonstrate when you critique or when you even used fallacies at some point, as in you told me I'm being fallacious. I asked you, show me where. You need to show from the argument, this is where you went wrong, this is why. That's a constructive critique. You just say, no, I don't accept, I disagree, no, you're doing this psychological reasons, it makes you feel better that this. I'm telling you, so not only are you not giving constructive criticism, you also don't provide any alternatives either. So I'm saying that's on top, that's a bonus.
Okay, can I give you one of my theories, which I bet you will disagree with?
Is it a theory that you could support? Or do you want to just throw a possibility in the possibility? Okay, good, that's
I
fine.
personally believe in it.
Okay, cool.
I have a theory that religions...
No, brother, let me say. Let me say.
Oh, you can carry on.
No, brother, Mansur, you're helpful in this conversation. Stay.
Yeah. So
Go on.
Okay, listen and then
Yeah, this is good actually.
Not imagination. Agency detection program. Like people, like all the people live in wild, they detect predators. Like
So you think
lions.
religions is the world religions are repeat that just for the better?
An overactive part of our agency detection program in our minds. Agency detection program in our minds. If we have to detect agency, is it just wind over there making the grass move, or is it a lion going to eat me? And so it's better for us evolutionarily if a runaway thinks it's a predator, even if it's
Okay, I got what you're saying. What's the supporting evidence for this?
it has to be from psychology.
It is. She has a psychology background. So what's
And
the
neuroscience.
evidence? What's the evidence for this?
it's a theory.
That's exactly why I asked you. Do you just have a possibility in the possibillion, or do you actually have a theory that you believe and you could rationally argue for?
It's supported by evidence that if we run away with
Intuitive is not good enough. Sorry, that's your standard.
yes, it's no by evolution. It run away and not get eaten.
You can't
It's
keep
better
using
for-
evolution as this woo-woo. With all due respect, you did not study evolution. From my conversation with you earlier about it, you do not know, or you said something that literally every evolutionary scientist would agree upon, that like we could see interspecies, we could see from different species evolution in a lab. Never ever happened. We could never do it due to time.
Can we prove evolution in life? You can prove that.
You realize, oh boy.
Just to make a point on this. How many years have we been breeding dogs and cats?
How many years have we been breeding?
Donkey's years. And still a cat is a cat and a dog is a dog. We have not crossed the species
Because
barrier.
they have very long lifespans and evolution
Okay, Drosophila.
doesn't appear in 10 years.
Okay, Drosophila. You know Drosophila?
No.
Very short lifespan. Many generations in our lab. We have bred and tried to mutate with one wing, less
That's
wing.
one species that doesn't happen with.
No, I'm just giving you an example of an organism in which we can test in a lab several generations
Short
in
lifespan.
a short lifespan. We find.
Guys,
Yeah.
Even shorter than that.
And still a Drosophila. It doesn't transform into any another species.
Yep.
So we.
it happens that they can't interbreed, which is the definition of a species.
You know what's funny?
Is
You had a,
evidence is
I
against.
know.
You know what's funny though? You have a problem with us using our human minds to judge something that's so far away from us in the beginning of the universe, but you have no problem accepting evolution. You blindly believe it. 1 second, blindly believe it. You could not even give one proof for evolution. You've never studied it. You just believe it because like I asked her. She said, "Why don't you listen to Richard Dawkins?" I'm like, no. She said, "I'm like, why?" She's like, "Why don't you listen to Richard Dawkins?" I'm like, "Tell me one thing that he says that's good." She couldn't say anything. That's what I mean. You hear names that tell you evolution is it, and you just believe it blindly. And I'm telling you this why? Because how are you okay using your human judgment, which you anyways think is problematic, to think about things that are far away, and accept evolution when 99.99% of the data, the fossil record is extinct? You're making your whole life decisions based on what? Yeah, 99.99 are not exactly. They don't show evolution, and 99% and 9% of the record is not there. You're making an inference based on no knowledge.
To explain something. No, when you see different species on the fossil strata.
I'm not arguing.
No, I'm not.
So then don't bring it up because you don't know evolution. You've never studied it, and it's okay. And that's okay. No, you've never studied
You
it.
should disbelieve in it.
No, I don't disagree. You don't even know my position. No, you don't even know my position on evolution.
I know.
I actually, the difference is, as somebody who has studied, you actually should just know that even atheist scientists and atheist philosophers of science have criticized how evolution is portrayed in the media as a new religion. Even Darwin himself wrote letters talking about how atheists have started to dogmaticize and how started to proselytize. Darwin himself was complaining and writing letters to his allies, worried that people are using his findings as some kind of proof against God, which you have been doing. Sorry?
Is he the authority on evolution?
I mean, he's literally the guy who came about with it. I think he knows about it more than
And
you.
are scientists.
Can I just make one point?
Yes,
there?
go on.
I just want to make one point. The reason why evolution is appealing to agnostics.
I don't care anymore about its appealing. I think religion is appealing to you. I studied evolution, you can think that you read my mind.
Why is religion appealing to me?
The reason why I'm saying evolution appeals to you rather than creationism is because...
Opposite to you.
Let him finish.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Okay.
Let's finish.
So,
Hear this one.
the reason why you think appeals to you is because of evidence, right?
Yes.
Evolution, is it conscious?
It's conscious.
So it's a process without consciously driven.
Yes.
So it doesn't know whether it's evolving or devolving, right?
I don't think there is such a thing, but yeah.
Because it's a
You can't
process.
devolve.
It has no brain, no neurons, no
It's a
synapses.
goal.
Right, it's just a description
Oh,
of a
did you get it
process.
off?
So it doesn't
Thank you,
know
bro.
whether things should evolve or devolve.
Oh my
Right?
God, thank you, bro.
Yeah? But
So,
things
thank you.
happen anyway.
Yes.
So you're saying the reason things happen because of it just happens?
No, because it is an advantage to develop it.
Natural selection, the ones who have the right phenotypes and genotypes.
When you say natural selection, you're saying nature selects. What is nature that selects things?
Survival.
Is environment conscious? No. So the environment cannot select anything because it's not conscious.
It is. The environment does select things.
1 second. How does an unconscious thing select something? Explain that.
Not per se, but if you have an environment that suits a certain animal, it is selecting which one will survive there. Because
Now, when you have an
in
environment,
a winter wasteland, if there's two animals, the nature is selecting this one
Nature-
to survive.
there is no-
There's no selection.
there is no nature and there is no selection.
There
I'll
is
tell
no
you.
big hand of nature selecting, but it's just the name they
know
gave.
how
Shall we analyze it? There is nothing there, no conscious agency. The only thing.
Oh my God,
Say
no!
you have-
Please don't say that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nothing
goodness.
selecting anything.
Please, wait.
Some things, species,
Yeah.
are surviving better because of what they have in terms of their ability and capability and the environment they're able to reach and
Random
utilize.
mutations.
No, not
Yeah,
random mutations.
that's not why. Random
So
does not even
you're
exist.
confusing nature is not conscious, so it cannot select. Now we're talking about the environment. For example, here now.
We just call it selection.
I don't agree. Random
But
mutations is
there's
what leads
mutations, right?
No. When you say mutation from a program?
No, mutation.
Wait. Mutation from a what? From a program. Because the code, the genetic code is a program and mutation is...
Okay, yeah.
And how did the program come about? Yeah, explain that first of all.
That's a complex question. How did DNA come
Because
about?
how do you have a complex program which then makes mistakes here and there through mutation? Because mutation is just some mistakes happening in the
We
program.
would have to bring a doctor of cancer here or a doctor of
Well, I work
of
with
DNA.
cancer and I work with doctors.
evolution
Right,
is
so you can
not-
tell me-
Listen. He's a cancer. He works
I
with
don't know.
cancer.
I'm not
Right.
read
So he works with mutations.
So you can't. You see, the reason why you're appealing to this is because that's an alternative to believing in God.
Yep.
That's the only reason.
That's it.
Not because of
Safe
evidence.
space.
But I've spoken for multiple minutes about how we believe in natural selection and random mutation, but I can't tell you a single minute of why God exists and where the proof is for me.
Yeah, but
And she
that's
can't-
more says more about you than actually the evidence. It just says that you haven't looked into the evidence of God.
Can evolution explain the existence of matter?
Can evolution explain Jesus?
It's not the theory for what matter is.
Yeah, exactly. So you're more busy with like the things after matter, but you have no answer for how matter came about. The priorities are wrong.
Not dealing with matter. So evolution seems to be a comfort zone because our question is, what is the existence of matter? What originated matter? What is your understanding of it? Did matter originate by
My
itself?
understanding is completely edged by the understanding of science. Dark matter.
According to science,
That's not-
according
that's
to
not-
science, did matter originate from nothingness? Did matter originate from itself, or did something else originate matter?
Matter can't be created or destroyed, but then dark matter.
Who
That's
said
all in the
Who
closed
said
system.
that? Who said that? Matter can be created and destroyed.
Energy company.
I don't know who said it, but it's
Why would you say it then,
Don't
bro?
say things which is not
Has
correct.
anyone ever heard that matter can't be created?
Yeah, but why are you saying stuff but like without understanding it? You're just saying like you're just throwing it out
I
there.
can talk about DNA without having a full understanding of DNA.
No, but you didn't have a full understanding. You just said a sentence and you had no clue what it meant.
It's false to say matter cannot be created or
You
destroyed.
just said that.
It is false.
I said what?
You just said energy, matter was destroyed, and then matter cannot be created or destroyed. Yeah, why are you just repeating like a parrot? Like no, like
It
it's
makes
just
sense to you.
Is
what's
that
it
as a
called?
human experience? You know, we
It's not a
believe.
No, it's not.
It's not-
I'm not repeating what other people say without understanding it.
Conviction, what I've been told with conviction my whole life.
Does it make sense?
Blindly?
Matter was always there. When you say matter cannot be created, destroyed,
Doesn't make sense.
does it make sense? Matter was always
I
there.
don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know whether
What
that
what you are telling me, matter cannot be created or destroyed, meaning matter was
That's what
always
I've
there.
heard. That's not what you don't.
Yeah, if you guys want to say, yeah, no worries. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's nice meeting you guys. If you want to come back and have another talk, we're always here every week.
I don't think it's
But I mean, you should go and look into what's it called? All the things that I said, and look into the things that you said, and check if they were true. I said they weren't, so let's look into it. I study at school, so I have to. I have to. No, you don't. From the things that you said, you don't. You study psychology. Even evolutionary psychology is a debated field. Even you don't even study evolutionary psychology.
Created or destroyed. That means if matter exists, was always there.
I'm debating that it has anything to do with the talk about God. Nothing to do. Yeah, so you keep up bringing it up. Yeah.
Do you believe matter was always there? You've heard about it many
I
times.
believe matter was
But yes, to be clear, I do reject common ancestry.
I'm agnostic.
And you have no proof for it. Yeah, that's not evolution, by the way. If you know, common ancestry is not the same. Yes, I do reject that we used to be monkeys and we split off. Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
more reasonable, rational. Everything transformed from a willing agency, or things just happen without any conscious willing agent to be there in the first place. And by conscious willing agent,
Sorry, if you don't mind. Excuse me.
which is more rational.
Do you just want to tell him to move over just so that his voice doesn't get picked up? If you guys want to have a conversation, that's fine.
Then say I'm swayed more to the
That
rational
matter is
understanding.
unconscious. It is more rational that matter is unconscious.
So from unconscious thing,
Yeah, but here, brother Mansur, come in. Come in if you want.
how do you explain that?
I'm talking if you want. Yeah.